Hello, my name is Tom Bamber from Akkadian Labs. Today I want to talk to you about a great new feature called Visual Phone Editor, which we just released in version 4.9 of Akkadian Provisioning Manager Express. Visual Phone Editor is a tool that allows you to generate a visual representation of most phones in Communication Manager, and using simply your mouse, rearrange lines, add new lines to the device, or edit existing lines. So what I'm going to do today is give you a demonstration of Visual Phone Editor in action. So first, I want to kind of set the table. The challenge is in Communications Manager that modifying devices with several lines, speed dials, or intercoms can be a challenge. So let's take this scenario for example. We have Sam Jackson, who has an 8861 phone and has multiple add-on modules and several lines on his phone. So if we wanted to move these lines or rearrange these lines using the native Communication Manager interface, this would be quite a challenge. It's kind of an unruly task. Not to mention that every time I move one of these lines around using Communications Manager, it's going to generate an individual phone button template, which is something that I have to go back and clean up later. So let's look how aPME can achieve the same task using Visual Phone Editor in a simple fashion. So what I'm going to do here is, the first thing I'm going to do is actually search for Sam's phone. So you can go ahead and search by multiple things such as MAC address or description. I find Sam's 8861, and if you notice, it pulls it in and gives it a general visual representation. So I see Sam's base phone here, the 8861 screen, as well as the two add-on modules that we just saw in Communications Manager. So let's go ahead and attempt to actually move Bob Smith, who's an individual that Sam is covering for. Let's say I have to move him over to the second expansion module, and Bob has a line that's bridged on this phone, an intercom, as well as a BLF speed dial. So those are three things that I actually would normally have to move over. Well, with Visual Phone Editor, it's simple. I take the mouse, and essentially once I grab Bob's line, I can see every location as to where I can move it. I could actually move it into an existing location, meaning where there's another line, and it would just swap those lines. But I'm going to go ahead and move it to an empty slot. So I move Bob's line over, then I'm going to move Bob's intercom over, and again, same thing. And the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and move the BLF speed dial over. So just to go back and show you, now I get the line text label and everything in here, but if I come over and look at the phone, I just want to show you what we're going to see here. So you see these three numbers up top here, the intercom, etc. We're going to go ahead right back to Visual Phone Editor and hit Perform. Give that a second. Okay, that was a success. You can see that they're no longer on these slots over here. The line is gone. Let's go back to Communications Manager, and let's just go ahead and basically refresh this screen. Okay, so we can see these slots are now empty. So we've actually successfully moved Bob's line down to the second add-on module. So what I'm going to do here now is go back to Visual Phone Editor and show you another great feature. So now let's say, great, I freed up the real estate on the first module. Now let's say I want to add a line. So I'm going to come in here, and basically Visual Phone Editor gives you the ability to associate existing lines in the system. So we're not adding new lines here. That's where you use the other functions in aPME to do. This is to associate or bridge an existing line. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search here. And I can search on any extension by typing in part of the range. And basically I can pick from anyone on this list. So let's go ahead and choose 7520. At this point I could go ahead and update and it would add the line. But I'm going to actually go ahead and click Edit Line on Device, because I want to show you how I can edit these fields. If I did submit this as is, it would just basically put the line in with all of the default settings. So in this case, I'm going to put in Jeff Jones as my new bridged appearance. And I'll put in a line text label as well. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and click Update. Right, that's all I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead now and hit Perform. Oh, and we can see that was successful. And I go back to Communications Manager. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly hit Refresh. And there we go. So we can see that if I actually click on this line and scroll down, I can see that I was able to put Jeff Jones on that line with the proper caller ID and display information. So you can see how it was that simple. I can rearrange as many lines as I want. I can add existing lines. I can even make changes to things like intercom lines, as well as BLF speed dials. So it gives you complete control using a visual representation. We hope you try Visual Phone Editor out, and we think it's a great feature, and it's really going to be helpful within your organization. Thank you very much for your time.